Hi, I'm Esther. I'm an author and an inspirational speaker, and I'm coming to you right here in my little cozy cabin. I'm on a 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise, and I want to share with you 5 things that you should be especially careful of if you're wanting to find somebody online. You should be especially cautious if you're young or an elderly person, because those are the age groups that are the most vulnerable to scammers. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good people on those websites. I know a number of couples that have successfully met online and married. I met the love of my life online at age 64. First thing is keep in mind that not every profile is going to be truthful. If you see somebody you're interested in, don't scare them away by giving them a 3rd degree and questioning them as if they were a criminal. But over the first few conversations with them, politely find out some of the following things. Are the pictures they have posted current, or are they old pictures? I corresponded with a guy for a short time, and when we got to talking, I discovered that all of his pictures were over 10 years old. That in itself tells me something. Either he was obviously not confident in what he looked like, but in my mind, I believe that putting old photographs online, it has a touch of dishonesty to it. So the second thing is ask questions about their activity list. If they say, oh, I enjoy riding bicycles, playing baseball, swimming a mile each day, do they still swim a mile each day? Do they still ride that bicycle or play baseball? It could be they enjoy them, but that doesn't mean that they're still participating in them for one reason or another. Sometimes they may be dreaming about their earlier years and not accepting the fact that they can't do those anymore. Or they may have switched to like a relics baseball team, no longer able to play fast pitch. And that's okay. They still participate in some level. But their activity level should match yours to some degree. The third thing is, do their interests coincide with yours? You don't want either one of you to be sitting idly at home while the other one is out participating in some kind of a sport. Unless you're an avid fan and you love to be a spectator. I love baseball, but I haven't been able to play softball in years. But I'm always willing to go sit on the bleachers and enjoy the games of my loved ones who play. I met my husband online, but we had a lot of similar interests. We both enjoyed and actively participated in kayaking, photography, hiking, and we were both Seattle Seahawks football fans. We also had differences. I grew up a country girl. He wasn't even familiar with country music artists except Garth Brooks. He didn't know any of the songs. He liked Broadways and plays and musicals. I never had that kind of exposure to those sort of things. But we've learned to appreciate the other one's interests and participate now and then. We both expanded our horizons, learning new things and enjoying them along the way. I occasionally go to a play or watch a musical with him. One time Sean talked me into watching a musical on TV. After it ended, he asked me, "So how did you like it?" I responded with, "It was pretty good. It had a good storyline, but it would have been a lot better if it didn't have all that singing and dancing in it." Several weeks later, we went to a play of Mice and Men, a John Steinbeck performance. I loved the play and asked Sean what he thought about it. He says, "Oh, it was really good, but it would have been a lot better if it would have had some singing and dancing in it." But when we were married, we were in our 60s. I'd been single a lot of years. We agreed we didn't have to be joined at the hip, but we had more similar activities that we could do together than we did different activities. The number 4, see what kind of person they are before you fall in love. Leave the blindfold in the dresser drawer. I'm going to share how you can see that person just a little bit later. And I say that because it's true. Love is blind. We see only what we want to see, unfortunately. So I want you to see what kind of friends they have, What kind of relationships do they have with their family? What type of relationships they have can tell you a lot about a person. Once my husband and I were married, he shared with me that my long-term relationships with friends and the fact that I still maintained a good relationship with my ex-daughter-in-law and that I worked for the same boss for over 20 years spoke volumes about my personality. Number 5, pay attention to their financial situation. Money isn't always important, but you want to make sure that that person is not looking for someone to provide financial stability for them, and that's where their interest lies. Number 6, listen to them. When they share about their lives, do they spend time bragging or trying to impress? Do they spend a lot of time whining? Are they arrogant? Are they humble and sensitive? Do they show compassion to others? The way they talk to or about other people is the way they're going to eventually talk to or about you. Number 7, don't give out your phone number or address until you've corresponded enough to really feel like you can trust them. Don't rush into that step. If you give that information out right away and you find you don't like them a little later, you're taking a risk of being stalked or worse. When you feel comfortable in doing so, share the phone number and arrange to have a FaceTime phone call with one another. FaceTiming will answer a lot of questions for you. Do they look like their pictures? Does the personality come across the same face-to-face as it does on paper? You know, you can be just about anybody you want on paper. Keep the blinders off and watch for body language. Watch for facial expressions. What do they tell you? Sean and I FaceTimed every morning and every night while we were dating because we live 420 miles apart, so it was great. We didn't go to movies and not be able to talk because we were watching a movie. We talked about every subject imaginable over time. We got to know the ins and outs of each other during those calls and what the other one thinks and feels. We made a point of visiting one another every other week. And 10 months later, we were married. We are very compatible with one another. There's been no surprises between us since we had so much meaningful conversation between us. Yes, we have our differences. That's what makes us unique individuals. But we also have more common ground than we do differences. Don't jump into the relationship with both feet. Step in gradually, getting to know one another. The enjoyment of a relationship is the journey along the way, not the destination where you get there. Be sure that you pick the perfect for you person to go with you on that life journey.